March 15th. You are with In Your Face with Fischer. As always, where the truth and the Constitution don't care about your feelings, and neither do I. I'm getting nothing through my headphones there.
You can hear yourself there.
Yeah. Alright. Here's where we're at. We reported yesterday that the 45-year-old man, I believe he's 45 years old, well, whoever, the coronavirus patient in LaPorte County is in the hospital in Porter County, I believe. His whole family is in quarantine in LaPorte Hospital. So, yes, it's here in LaPorte County. And I believe the surrounding counties. What to do? Well, like we said yesterday, to do nothing, I think is ridiculous, and to panic is ridiculous. The coronavirus task force has come out and today and said that they are going to have on-site test sites, Walmart parking lots and Walgreens parking lots. They said to be aware because you're going to see a peak in the curve. You're going to see a large amount of people that have this virus and are infected. So, main thing is to stay calm. There's really no treatment right now. There's obviously no cure or anything. Best thing to do is, if you can stay home, stay home. Those of you that like to hoard toilet paper already have it, so give everybody else a chance to go out and buy it. Other than that, best thing to do is to stick around the house. Reminder, all schools in the area are closed for at least till March or April 15th, I believe. Sorry, I just had someone come up with a question. Basically, what's with the school closings, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked here. With the school closings, now is not a time, the schools are closed, so we can kind of quarantine our children and stuff. It's not time, parents, to let your kids go spend the night and have sleepovers and slumber parties. It's time to keep them at home. That way they're not getting infected, and even though it don't seem to be affecting younger people, it is affecting older people. The governor of Ohio has talked to the CDC and said that he believes, or they believe, that there's over 100,000 individuals infected. The problem is, folks, what we talked about yesterday is that the problem is, folks, is we just don't have test kits. We say we have 19 individuals infected, but through this whole time, there's only been 121 people tested in Indiana. Indiana health officials are speculating that 70,000 Hoosiers are carrying the coronavirus. So you're going to see a massive spike. When these test sites are set up, things start shipping tomorrow as far as supplies, and they're going to be, I'm guessing, tents and things. When they are set up, they're asking that only if you have symptoms of the coronavirus do you go there? Other than that, they're trying to keep it, we're healthy people. If you're showing no symptoms, I guess you don't get tested. Either way, if you do have it, I don't know what the strategy is on treating it. As far as vaccines are concerned, can you trust the vaccines? Where I stand, Bill and Melinda Gates are in charge of it. I don't trust it. So, but anyway, we're in day 2 of our quarantine here in Your Faces Fischer. We're on day 2 of quarantine. So we have Justin and we have Austin here. No one here is planning on going anywhere. We have what we need. And you know what? I would rather overreact than underreact. If I overreact, I'm not hurting no one. My family's not hurting one. If we do nothing, then it could be big problems. What really hit me hard is that when I heard all these professional baseball teams, hockey teams, basketball, baseball are, they're losing out on billions of dollars. You can't tell me that nothing's behind these people being willing to lose billions of dollars. So I think it's time we wake up and take it serious. Even if you don't believe it's nothing, there's steps you can take. Washing your hands, as we talked about yesterday. The problem with that is if you're trusting your fellow man to wash his hands, there's a problem. I'm going to go over this study that was done again today. Americans polled, only 66% washed their hands after using the restroom. Only 5% of the people which washed their hands after using the restroom washed their hands long enough. Out of that 5%, only 1 of 3 use only water. So you're looking at 95% of people not washing their hands properly or just not washing their hands at all. So you can't tell me that somebody that won't wash their hands after they wipe their ass or have their hand on their pecker or wiping their nasty snatch is going to wash their hands after they touch a metal surface. So if you're planning on them to save you, then you're mistaken, because they ain't going to be washing their hands. Not unless everything changes overnight. So, we have Austin in the studio today. Austin has a cough, but it's not a dry cough. He has some kind of tonsil issue going on. But people, again, there's specific symptoms that go along with this coronavirus, as we call it, the Kung Fu flu. Here on because anything you say other than, there's a lot. Listen, I get on Facebook, I look at Facebook, and I see these people saying, oh, if this is such a new disease and it's so fatal and the mortality rate's so high, how come it's on a can of Lysol? There are many strains of coronavirus. The reason this strain is so dangerous is because our bodies have never seen this before. Therefore, we don't have antibodies to fight it. But we have Austin in here. Austin, if you tell me what you think about this and the listeners, and I'm going to try to get this computer working so I can see what's going on.
Well, I've been doing research for the past couple of days, and I started getting worried when I've had this every time the seasons change. I get tonsil stones, and for people that don't know what those are, it's when your tonsils swell up, and From what I've read, it's just like buildup of different types of like calcium and things like that. But anyway, I've seen posts on Facebook as well, as Mike was saying. People are saying, it only has a 4% mortality rate, or only has a 2% mortality rate. Well, the CDC has come out and said it's 4%. And if you look back at all these other flus, I'm going to use the swine flu as an example. The swine flu had a 0.02 mortality rate, and 151,000 to 191,000, I believe it was, people died worldwide from the swine flu, and it had a 0.02 mortality rate, just to reiterate. And 22 million Americans had been infected with H1N1, the swine flu, and 4,000 Americans died from H1N1. Now, we're looking at a 4% mortality rate. Now, that's not saying how many people are going to get infected. That's not going to say how many people are getting weakened and hurt by the virus. And from what we've seen, the lesions in your lungs, that's permanent. It doesn't go away after you've gotten the virus. So not only can you die, but after you get it, if you do survive, you're going to be pretty messed up for the rest of your life. And so I've done research on, what the 4% mortality rate would look like. And just for worldwide sake, we're going to use worldwide numbers. So 151,000 at a 0.02 mortality rate equals about 600 million to 750 million people dying from this flu. And people want to talk about the coronavirus, but they don't want to talk about what the coronavirus causes, which is the COVID disease. The COVID disease is an infection that gets inside of your lungs and causes these lesions, and it causes mucus to dry up and cause scabbing inside of your lungs, and it causes lesions inside of your lungs, and that's what these doctors are looking for in these interior lung scans. And from the research I've done, people that were coming out and saying, it doesn't affect, younger people from the age of the ages that I've seen, where ages 16 to 30 aren't affected as wide as people over 30 and younger than 16 are. But from other research I've done, young people.
It's not about our research. It's about research that professionals have.
Well, here's I've collected from professionals.
Here's my thing. Is I'm tired of these Facebook self-proclaimed microbiologists telling me stuff. At this point, I'm left with no choice but to trust the professional and what they say. Listen, if I'm overreacting, I'm hurting no one. But if I'm not, man, I hope to God that I'm overreacting. I hope that people are overreacting, because I don't think we're ready to see numbers higher than the Civil War of people dying in something like this. And not only that, but people that are sick. And man, if you cough on me, I'm going to punch you in the face. Check it out. We have millionaires passing up, even billionaires passing up money,
which they would never ever do.
We have flights canceled. I never understood the Europe thing, the travel ban to Europe and not the UK. I never got that, but now the UK starting Monday.
Well, let me ask you this, since you're a lot older than I am, just to get a for instance. Have you ever in your life seen something that causes this, the MLB? Have you ever seen anything like this happen?
No one who's alive today has ever seen anything. Not since the Spanish flu have we seen something like this. Uh, and that was the early 1900s. So, no, we've never seen anything like this before. Never. So, I understand people being skeptical. I really do, because we've never been faced with anything like this.
And every time we've been told we were going to be faced with something like this, it turned out to be minuscule compared to what this is.
Well, and not only has it been, it hasn't been minuscule. I look at the it's minuscule to you
Compared to
and here's where the mindset has to change with people is it's minuscule to you because with the swine flu, because one of the 12,000 people that died in the U.S., you didn't know. So if your family had to happen to have been one of the 12,000, it would have been a damn big deal to you.
Yeah.
And everyone's saying, "Oh, it was no big deal." And really, you know what? The chances of getting it, if only 12,000 die, it's very unlikely you're going to die from it. But how many people were infected with it? I mean, like I said, the infection rate doesn't matter. It has little to do with anything. I mean, the flu has an astronomical infection rate, but what's the mortality rate? We accept 20,000 every year, up to 70,000. And they're saying if the Kung Fu flu kills that amount, we're doing good. I just don't think doing nothing is going to make anything better. My wife's stepmother, she works at in the medical field, and her mindset has to be different than what mine is. You'd have to force yourself to have a different mindset. Otherwise, you'd be too afraid to go to work. I pray that nothing happens to her, and that I hope she's right. That it's if you wash your hands and you take the proper steps. But here's the thing: I don't trust other people to do the right thing. They don't listen. I've never washed my hands like I have been now. And that's what I should have been doing this whole time, is washing my hands like this. And the thing is they're coming in coughing, and what happens when they run out of masks? And I mean, I just fear for our medical workers, and we need to support them and take care of them. And that's what this coronavirus task force is doing. I told my wife's stepmother today that, I like to argue with her, but sincerely, I fear for the people in the medical field, and I think they're great people that put themselves out there like that and are, willing to put themselves in harm's way for us. And hats off to all you people in the medical field. It's, you're taken for granted all the time. Well, I have a feeling here in the near future, people are going to be very thankful for you. And I am right now. I think this is going to change the way we feel about not only each other, but the way we feel about our medical professionals. And I want to thank you right now, because from what I've heard from this coronavirus Kung Fu flu task forces, they straight up said today, we haven't seen the worst. The worst is yet to come. Now, I look at our little area on the map in LaPorte County and the surrounding areas, and I think to myself, my God, we get one case in our county and the shelves are empty at the store. Toilet paper's gone. What are people going to do when we see the real numbers? Again, you can't have confirmed cases unless people are tested. There's only been 121. And out of that 121, they're telling us that we have 19 or 20 people are positive. That's a big percentage of 121. What are we going to do when we're faced with thousands, if not 100,000? What are people going to do then? And I say 100,000 within our state, not in LaPorte. For Christ's sakes, we'd all have it.
There ain't 100,000 people in LaPorte.
So my thing is we care and we love all of you. We just want you to be safe. And hey, I would rather you overreact. I'm sure that the healthcare professionals would rather you overreact and quarantine yourself. Guys, we're going to know what's up in 30. That's why we chose 30 days. We stay in the house 30 days. We keep away from other people. And in 30 days, we're going to see where we're at. Remember, we're 2 weeks behind the curve. In 30 days, if the numbers don't increase, if it isn't as bad as what they said, then we know, hey, you know what? Maybe we overreacted. But I have a feeling those of you that are underreacting are going to wish that you overreacted. But after this, guys, it's too late. And it may not be too late for you. You may be a young person and it not affect you in a bad way or in a harmful way, but you have family members that it might. I think this will forever change the way we communicate with each other, and no one likes being alone. I understand the quarantine. No one likes being alone. We're social beings. We're people that need to be around other people. I mean, that's part of being social beings. We like the human touch. We cherish a hug and we welcome a handshake. But times are a changing, and right now, I mean, it's gonna be. It's going to be where that's not unsafe, or it's not going to be safe. If this is as bad as what they're saying, I just heard from my wife's stepmother that they got the gloves, they got the N95 masks, they have gowns, and getting eyewear. We have all the safety measures, so that's a wonderful thing. We want to make sure that these are the people we turn to when we're sick. If they get sick and if they are perishing from something terrible, which I hope it's not. Like I said, I hope I'm overreacting. But if they do, who's going to take care of us? You don't want me doing your blood test. I guarantee you that. First of all, I'm going to pass out. Then when I wake up, I ain't going to know what the hell to do with your blood. I'll just tell you got to go home and lay in bed. We don't need to overreact, but we do need to make changes. And you know what? Even if this is nothing, there's nothing not wrong with making changes due to the flu, due to just things that we're used to having. I mean, it would be nice not having to worry about getting the flu every year. But we do it because we get it because usually we have bad habits. And it's like I'm looking at Austin. He's eating his dried mango, licking his fingers, and then touching everything. And then, I mean, who's to say he wouldn't do that in a restaurant? And I would have. But we don't think. We just live. And we just need to start using our brains a little bit more. Some more than others. Ain't that right, Austin?
Yeah, and it's a Nutter Butter, just to be.
Oh, well, that's the difference. They have come out and said that chocolate and peanut butter. Oh, Kung Fu flu. Chocolate and peanut butter save you from the coronavirus. We'd like to hear from people what they think of. I'm having problems with our YouTube as far as getting it up on my computer because Justin reset his computer and I can't get my account up here. So, what? All right, well, let's get it there. All right, we're going to work on this. Austin is going to take over. He's going to get in the captain's seat here, and we're going to get this fixed. But we'd like to hear from you guys. What do we see here? I am smoking a cigarette, and it is delicious. But no, Austin did bring up a point that I want to get to before we go here. Is that it has been verified that if you are in your 30s and have asthma or anything like that, if and 40s, 50s, 60s, it's affecting you no different. You remember when this first came out in China, and the Kung Fu flu came out in China, that they said, oh, it's affecting middle-aged people in their 30s. But then all of a sudden that was lost in the news. Out of Italy, they're saying that it's affecting 30, 40, 50-year-olds, no different than it is any age above that. I mean, of course, if you're 95 years old, you got rickets, and you haven't ate a piece of fruit in 3 years, and you got the scurvy, yeah, you're gonna
die.
You're gonna have more of a chance to die. Yeah. But your channel, boom. All right, I'm there. Now, anyway, Austin, go ahead, and I'm gonna try to get this fixed. I'm gonna try to get this set up, put the phone number on the screen, and hopefully we get some calls from you guys.
All right. Well, anyway, so
Austin, you sound so professional when you talk.
Yes, I know. I sound great. As you guys have probably seen scrolling through Facebook, it's really it's getting kind of crazy on there. I've actually had to kind of close my phone a few times because it is getting a little out of hand. When you go on Facebook, you're seeing that, just memes on top of memes, just either saying it's going to be way worse than what, just going to be terrible, or you're seeing some memes or some people saying, it's nothing, quit worrying about it. Well, I'm finding myself somewhere kind of in the middle. I am worried to an extent, but I'm not going nuts. I mean, the day that I saw that Trump, I was at work on Friday when Trump decided to declare the national state of emergency, that I heard that, and I went out and I bought what I needed. I didn't go nuts hoarding the toilet paper. I didn't go nuts hoarding the paper towels or the hand sanitizer or anything like that. But I bought, bleach and like the Clorox bleach and things like that to, sanitize my home and, spray down doorknobs and things like that after we do leave the house, which we're not planning on doing. But the main thing that you kind of have to pay attention to is just who you're around. They've already come out and said, I'm sure Mike has already told you guys that, the 6 foot rule that you hear about with the flu and things like that, they're telling you that that's not going to work. Just from people talking, you emit spit and you emit particles from your mouth, and those can infect you with this, even with the flu. But the main thing that you got to pay attention to is just who you're around, who you're letting your children around, who you're letting into your home, and pay attention to, if somebody does come over and you let them in your home, wipe down or have them wash their hands or spray their hands down and have them, soak them in hot water and wash it with soap. But just make sure your things are sanitized. Make sure you have the food and things you need. Because, I don't know, there's probably many of you out there like myself, but I've been preparing little by little every now and again. I prepare for simple things, having what the CDC says is good, but I try to go a little bit above and beyond that. I've had 30 days of food stocked up for a long time, and now I have a little bit more than that just because I'm seeing the numbers just, every 25 to 30 minutes you're having more information, thrown at you, and they're saying like, oh, don't panic, but here's more bad information. Now, here's something else.
And that's one thing I want to say is that we're not...
inciting panic.
Well, I'm not trying to incite any kind of panic. I'm sure if you ask any medical professional, better to stay on the side of caution than to let this go, be real passive about it and just let it go as nothing. I mean, I got a buddy who's throwing coronavirus parties in his hot tub. Yeah, you know who you are. Man, come on, and it's people that you care about and their families, and you're like, man, why would you put yourself in that kind of situation for no reason? I mean, I understand that because you don't see it right now, it's not there, But listen, that's the thing about cancer is you don't see it. Most of the time you don't feel it until it's too late. Let's not let that happen with this. It is an airborne disease. When you're coughing...
I coughed into mine.
And sneezing all over the place, that's airborne. But, guys, this is not going to float around in the air. I don't think we have to worry about if you step outside. You know what? Keep your space. I don't like people up in my shit anyway. I don't know anybody who does. 6 foot's fine with me. As long as it's not my wife, you can stay 6 foot away. Right now, I ain't letting nobody in or, out of my house unless it's a really bad need, like cigarettes.
Well, and back to the whole Facebook thing, like you said earlier, there's people on there that are self-proclaimed microbiologists and disease biologists and whatnot, and I'm seeing a lot of people on there just trying like the coronavirus parties. You're making a mockery of something that you're gonna regret later on. I feel that's just the way I feel.
Well, and that's the way I am. You look at the people who died. When did we start believing China and what they say? Their numbers are false. You know they are. But here's the thing. You know what? Everybody here that's saying you're overreacting. Well. You ask the people that family members die, and I bet you they wish they had overreacted.
Exactly. That's where
if you're overreacting, you're not hurting nobody.
And that's just the point where I'm at as well. Is just like you're reading these things, and these people are just. I honestly feel a sense of empathy towards them because it's
My father-in-law just said that he's going to be over. Well, you'll be standing outside, or I'll spray bleach in your eyes.
But no, the main thing that I'm looking at is just, if you're gonna make a mockery of it, just make sure you're sure. Be sure that it's something to make a mockery of. Be sure that everybody that's doing this, that's preparing for this, and that's buying these things. And I think hoarding 240 rolls of toilet paper is a little bit overzealous, but if you're gonna get on people about preparing for this, make sure that you're going to be on the right side of this. That this is absolute bullshit. That these people are batshit crazy because you're going to be the one that's.
You definitely want to be on the right side of this.
Yeah.
You don't want to be on the wrong side of this.
Because you're going to be the one coming to people's doors asking them for shit, and to be completely honest, if this goes off the wall, like there's a good chance it might. If it goes off the wall, you're going to be one of the ones out either A, begging for stuff, B, you're going to be sick and wishing you would have prepared and not had to go out in the midst of this. Or, point 3, you're going to be the one out rioting, looting, and trying to get the things that you don't have. And the people out here that are prepared are going to have the necessary items to defend the stuff that they do have.
And the final point is on Austin's head. So, I know. No, you're doing fine. You're doing great. One thing we want to be is, a sounding post for you. If you don't agree with us, give us a call. If you do agree with us, give us a call. I would really like Kim, if she was able to give us a call. Our number is 219-380-9918. Again, that's 219-380-9918. If you're listening to us on YouTube, go ahead and share. Let's get some people watching. We're not here to tell people that they're idiots. We're here to just say, hey, we're in this together. Whether it's nothing or whether it's something, we're in this together. We really want to be that sounding post in a local area. If you're talking about an area in LaPorte or, Valpo or Maryville or South, we all know the same places. I mean, this is a good place to sound off and talk about our concerns, our worries, even when nothing's going on, like this Kung Fu flu.
Another point that I wanted to make, I've been seeing people that I know, good friends of mine, actually a mother.
Hold on one second. I would ask Kim, if you could give us a call, we'd appreciate it. 219-380-99. Oh, obviously you have my phone number, but 9918.
Anyway,
go ahead.
A good friend of mine's mom was actually posting on Facebook the other day, and she's telling everyone, that she has all of these supplies, and if you need it, come to her and she'll give it to you. And I've seen a lot of posts like this, actually, not just her. And I think that's awesome. You're going to be doing a great thing if you do that. But don't. Because you got to think, you're letting these people not only...
I don't agree with that. I think we should help
I think we should help people out, yes. But she's telling people... Well, I've seen 2 posts, actually, just recently. Shoot me a private message, and I'll give you an address where you can pick it up. Well, not only are you telling these people where you live, but also you're letting everyone know.
I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea to bring anybody you don't know to your house. But most of the time, people are going to be talking to her. Hold on one second. We got a call here. Hello. Oh, we have Kim on the line. Kim, if you could turn down the volume from the show there.
You're turning your volume down. Yeah, Bud's got his phone on, that's why.
All right. What are you hearing? You work in the medical field. We're not going to say your place of employment or anything, but you work in the medical field. Is it wrong to, if you can stay home, to stay home and self-quarantine? Is that a bad thing?
No, that's not a bad thing. The issue, what's going on right now with all this, is that there has been, as you said, people have been so laid back and relaxed that they don't take the standard precautions, the washing the hands, the sneezing and coughing into people's faces and what have you. That's where it's getting contacted from. Okay? We have went to our measure...
But my question is it wrong to right now? See, here's the way I'm thinking: is the kids are off of school to stay home, so after the 30 days we can evaluate the situation and see who's sick and who's not.
The best thing on that basis, honestly, is with them being off school right now, they should actually consider how many cases there are at that time before they make another decision what they're going to do. Because if the cases are growing, you're not going to want to go have them going back.
I understand that, but my question is to you is, shouldn't these kids shouldn't be spending the night at each other's houses and going to the movies? It's not time to party.
Oh, no.
It's time to stay home and take this serious.
Right.
And I can't help but see kids out, 5, 10, 15 of them walking down the road, hanging out. And that's not why you're off of school. You're off of school to pretty much to isolate yourself so you don't get this. You know what? It may not affect children as bad as it does older people with compromised immune system, but everybody has family members.
Right.
And
but then that falls back some on the parents too for letting it happen.
Exactly. And I think, and people are going to criticize me for this, I think that's
they can criticize me.
You don't want to mess with this bitch. She'll fuck you up. The thing is I'm going to be criticized for saying this, but I think that's when the law enforcement gets involved and tells these kids, hey, get home. This ain't what this is for. Because let's we got to face it. It's the police, you people in the medical field, these EMT drivers and stuff that are at risk all the time. You're not going to be able to stay home from work like a lot of us have the opportunity to. You're going to have to be at work no matter how bad this gets or doesn't get.
Right.
Like I said, I don't know. But the thing is no one knows. You're in the medical field. You don't know how bad it's going to get or if it's going to get bad at all. So my thing is, better to overreact, not panic. But if you can stay home, stay home. Wash your hands. And just be a responsible person. Don't go into crowded bars. Don't go into eat at home. And,
right.
Just be safe. I don't. That's not panic. That's called precaution.
No, the panic part is where they're buying all the toilet paper for a respiratory disease.
Yeah, that is freaking retarded. I want to tell you right now, if we have any listeners during the broadcast or even after post-broadcast, if we have any listeners and you bought more than 3 things of toilet paper, bundles of toilet paper, you need to go see a psychiatrist. There is something wrong with you. You are mentally ill. This is something that affects your lungs, not your asshole.
Right.
All right. No, I've heard that, Austin's cold, but we are in the flu and cold season, correct?
Right.
And we're going to have coughs. We're going to have sniffles. But I'm hearing with this Kung Fu flu is what we call it. With the Kung Fu flu that you don't have a runny nose. You have a dry cough. And
cough.
A dry cough, correct?
Yeah.
I also heard that a good test for yourself is if you take in a deep breath and be able to hold it for 10 seconds without pain or without pressure and stuff, that's a good sign that you don't have the disease or the virus.
That I have not heard yet.
I've heard that,
I do know it is the dry cough.
It is a dry cough, but it makes sense if you have a respiratory illness that if you take in a deep breath and you're not coughing or struggling, that there's nothing wrong with your lungs. But again, we have to keep in mind that it is flu season. It is, people do have
allergy
colds.
season.
This is really where it's going to get confusing, is because
and that's the thing. I think, but again, we don't have the confirmations, and you're in the medical field. Only 121 people have been tested in the state of Indiana. only one so far in LaPorte County, Indiana,
Right.
has been confirmed. You saw how
Right.
people went nuts. You've seen how people have went out and bought all this shit and panicked. My question is when we get the test, do you believe we're going to see a spike in this curve?
Oh, everybody's testing people because, like, we run numerous tests before we run a COVID test to make sure it isn't flu, it isn't strep, because they mimic each other.
Yeah, I'm afraid that, like they said, I don't know if you watched the conference with the coronavirus task force that President Trump put in charge of this. They said, we're going to see a dramatic spike when we do get all these tests in, and they're going to have on-site testing like at Walmart and Walgreens, and basically a drive-through or a walk-through thing. And I just want to tell everyone, when you see this spike, it's not time to panic. Am I wrong?
Right.
It's
time to take precautions. Agreed.
Agreed. It's time to take precautions now. Here's the thing. If we take precaution now, if you are prepared, then there is no panic.
Right.
Your thoughts on that?
Well, the disinfecting.
You're cutting.
And stay home.
You're cutting. Yeah. You're cutting in and out here. See if you can get a better signal there.
I'm sitting in one spot, Mike.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, the biggest thing is like you said earlier, with the disinfecting, the hand washing. If you're coughing, cover your cough. If you're sneezing, cover your sneeze. Wash your hands after both. It's standard precautionary measures. Just like with the flu, just like with when all that other stuff was coming around,
And like you've
got to do the standard precautions.
And that's what I've been saying. It's not the infection rate that matters with this. The flu has a tremendous infection rate. Hundreds of thousands, millions of people get the flu every year. It's the mortality rate that matters. Yes, you catch this like you catch the flu. Like any other virus, you catch it. What they're scared of is the mortality rate. Am I correct?
Yes.
And how are your colleagues feeling about this? Are they nervous? Are they just prepared?
No, because we've done our precautions. We're prepared.
All right.
We are 100% prepared.
What are you telling your loved ones to do right now? Because you know what? We talk to different people different ways. We talk to our loved ones. We want them to take the most precaution as possible. What would you suggest to, I don't know, say maybe your daughter or stepdaughter?
My precautions on that is if they don't have to be out and about in it, stay home right now.
And
avoid the contact with the large populations.
And also, do you believe in 30 days we'll know what this is all about? We're going to see how infectious this is, and we're going to
know more of how many more contaminants there actually is to it.
And then can we make a more intelligent, or I don't want to say intelligent, a more educated, not guess, but a more educated standards to practice after that?
Yes.
Well, that was a quick answer. Yes.
No, because by that time they're going to have more of the testing out where we can test more people to see how many are actually affected.
Yep.
So it's going to give us more insight to how bad the situation is at that point. and whether or not it's going to gradually get worse.
Now, the downside to this whole thing is I'm hearing that not only is it
Hello.
stay dormant. Hello, I heard old Harry in the background.
Yeah. Why?
I lost my train of thought. I heard hello. If we test and we have more idea of how it's spread, the problem is, this is where I was going, is that I've heard that not only does it incubate 14 days, but it can be up to 29 days that it incubates. So, isn't that a downside to this virus?
You know, I'm not for sure on the incubation. I haven't heard anything on that yet. Anything that's come across, like my emails and stuff from work.
Well,
so I can't confirm that.
We're trying to educate. Just our podcast is basically for people in our area and the surrounding areas. So we're trying to inform people of what they can expect, what stuff like this. So if you'd be our person that's in the system that can let us know and ask these questions, so the people don't have to be calling the doctor's office or the emergency room and bothering you people in the healthcare industry. Ask these questions so we can put over the air the answers to these questions. If you could do that for us, man, that would be a great help, not only to us and the public, but to you guys in the medical profession. So
I can get that information.
I'm interested because I've heard anywhere between 14 and 29 day incubation, and that's scary. In a month, you can go a lot of places,
right,
and infect a lot of people. So my whole thing is, and while we're doing this quarantine, it's not a matter of, you know who I'm talking about when we say we have someone living in this house that has a compromised immune system, and in the shape this person's in, if they were to contract this, it wouldn't look good.
No.
So we're taking the precaution just because we love the individual. So, but we appreciate your time, Kim. And if we have any more questions, or if you have any anything you'd like to add in the future, give us a call when we're on the air. And make sure you tune in. That way we can, if we ask you to call, you can give us a call.
Yeah, I'll try to get as much information gathered.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and you have a great day.
All right. Dad said he'll be there tomorrow.
All right. Tell him I'll have the bleach in my hand.
All righty.
All right.
Spraying with Lysol.
All right. We will yak at you guys later.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right. There you have it. That's someone that's working in the medical field right now. I see Mr. Joe Novak, who's part of our crew, is on the YouTube typing up that he's not afraid of nothing. And it's all about arresting people. The flu is better than martial law. And yes, I think we'll have Joe on here. Me and Joe are Joe and I. Sorry, on proper English, or improper English. Joe and I have had this conversation, and I think we'll have Joe on via telephone to talk about this subject. So, Joe, if you want to call in, you got my number, 219-380-9918, 219-380-9918. If anybody else has any questions or concerns, go ahead and give us a call. The number is on the screen. If you don't have the chat up, you're not going to see the number, but the number is on the chat. So if you want to call in. We'd appreciate you sharing this right now and get more people watching and give them information, and they can give us information. If they have information to the contrary, hey, let's have it. That's a difference between the left and the right. The left wants to shut you down and don't want to hear what you have to say. And I don't want to make this about politics at all. If you're worrying about, is this going to stop Trump's reelection, or is this going to get him reelected, you are on the wrong page, man. You need to reorganize your priorities. This isn't about... This is about human life, not about politics right now. Joe is calling, so let's answer this. Mr.
Hey.
Joe!
Hey,
You're on the air, buddy.
I typed that, and then my phone was ringing from the school, from Connor's school.
Oh, all right.
So I took my headphones off, and I was listening to them. They're like, we've had a person in here that doesn't come into much contact with the students, but they've tested positive for coronavirus.
Oh, really?
So we are going to shut the school down and have it professionally cleaned.
Wow.
So I'm going to clean the entire school because one person tested positive for corona. But, and then he said, because the students were supposed to be off of school, but they're supposed to do the e-learning stuff on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And he's like, good chance the e-learning ain't going to happen either.
All right. So what school is
a holiday for the kids. New Prairie.
New Prairie.
Yeah.
New Prairie.
It might still happen, but he was like, yeah, it might be delayed.
All right.
And he says, he said the building's closed too, so nobody can come in because apparently they were going to be handing out lunches to kids that normally get, lunch from school or something. But
now, is your school district, is that within LaPorte County?
Yes, it actually straddles LaPorte County and St. Joe County.
Okay.
It's in both of them. See, it used to be the Rolling Prairie School District and the New Carlisle School District, but they combined them and made a New Prairie.
Here's what I'm wondering right now is that if this person that's been in contact was in contact with the case that was detected or confirmed in LaPorte, or is this a new case that we...
Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at a thing of cases in each county. It was like a whole list of like 6 or 8 counties or something like that. And there was one case in each county except for Marion. There was like 6, and then there was another one. I can't remember the name of it, but and there was like 2 in that one or something like that. But it was like every county had like one case. It's like we have to have one case for it to be legit or something. I don't know. There's like one plant in each place. But
my question to you, Joe, because I know you have a whole different take on this, but
yes, I do.
But we're going to get to that here in a minute if you got time.
Yeah.
I know you're a busy man, so I don't know if you have time. So if you got
I'm here at work as always.
So you got plenty of time.
Yeah. No, if the radio rings or the phone or something like that, I might have to take off.
Yeah, if you got to run, that's no problem. Just go ahead and run. But here's my question for you.
Been drinking some coffee.
All right. Go ahead. So here's my question for you. I know you have a whole different take on the situation, but do you think, like I do, that being on the side of precaution, if you can stay home and, do you think that's a bad idea?
I think that's what they want, is everybody to go home. It just the flu going around. You should be cautious.
And that's what I've been saying.
But I
also,
wouldn't be too cautious. But then if nobody goes home like they're supposed to, they might have to go to other means. You know what I mean?
Oh, and I agree. Martial law is it's a bad thing. We don't want to see that, but I just feel like you want to be on the right side of this. I don't think you want to be on the wrong side.
Yeah.
I would hate for us to, for you to get sick or anyone, that I care about.
And I saw something about I think it was Highway 35 and 18th Street. The area over there was closed down, and nobody was allowed in because of a police incident.
Yeah, I heard
and
about.
that's all it said.
Yeah,
I don't, but I think we're going to see lots of police incidents going on around different areas and stuff.
So again, if you are watching or listening, share this. Call your friends, call your family, because we got important stuff coming out. No, Joe's going to share his. Joe's going to share his ideas about this and why he thinks it is, and we want to get everybody's perspective. If you disagree with us, disagree. That's fine. Call in and disagree. Send a message.
And I can be wrong.
Yeah, and I could be wrong. And you know what?
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong.
See, this is the way I think about it, is we've been lied to about so many things that we have to, we just try and figure out from the little bits of information we get.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get wrong information. Sometimes we get information that doesn't make sense, but it's right.
Yep.
And until all the dots are connected,
you don't know.
People will be like, wow,
Yep.
And I will be too. I'm sure some of the stuff that I'm thinking might be wrong this way or that way. And, I've made speculations on some of the information that I got, and it turned out to be different. But some of it's come out exactly right,
Yeah. Again, if you have family or friends that are interested in this stuff, give them a call. Tell them to tune into our channel and our podcast. And, we got Joe on the phone, so he'll be jerking the wheel and
I would take us right down the ditch.
Take us right in the ditch like usual. But
yeah.
Joe is now going to give us his take on this whole Kung Fu flu and what he believes that this is all about. So go ahead, Joe, take it away. And like I said, if you got to break away, just let me know. And you got the floor. I'm going to shut up and let you talk.
Yeah, I trying to think back how it was about October 2018, somewhere around there. People were keeping track of the sealed indictments in the country. And normally, there's around 1,000 sealed indictments. Then some of them get opened, and then the number goes down, and they make more, and it goes up. But it's usually around, a little below, a little above 1,000 sealed indictments. Well, some of these people start noticing, and people start keeping track of the sealed indictments. Starting around November 2017, they started writing about 5,000 a month. And the number was going up and up and up. And I kind of noticed it around October, November 2018. And people were wondering when when they're going to start serving these sealed indictments. Well, right now, the number is up over 151,000. And, yeah, we've been knowing that these they're going to have to start unsealing some of these. And now and then, some big names and some politicians and stuff, things get unsealed. Some people around Indiana got, unsealed. The FBI went and picked up, was it a town council member in, can't remember the name of the town down there by where Franz Park is, and not Franz Park, but Anyway, yeah,
I
there's
don't
one
know.
town down that way. I'm trying to think of the name of the town, but FBI picked him up in there, and the mayor in Michigan City, and the police chief in Michigan City, and in LaPorte, and all around, little things have been happening.
Yeah.
But nothing big yet. I mean, not 151,000 worth.
Yeah.
And what the people speculating was that they're going to declare martial law. They're going to have to, because you're going to have to round up 151,000 people. Well, this kind of is perfect for that. You don't scare the people. You make everybody go home. I would, like Trump was saying about stopping international travel. This might be to get people to home and cancel their trips, And I just heard people speculating about canceling interstate travel, which I don't know how you would do that, but suppose you'd have blockades at the borders or something, but and then I don't know that's going to happen either. That might be just other people speculating too, but also other countries are. And, the world criminals, the people that run the Bilderberg meeting every year, they're all around the world, And it's interesting with all of the big CEOs that have been stepping down.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Yeah, I mean, you saw where Bill Gates stepped down from the Microsoft, and he also stepped down off the board of Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway.
Well, he's gonna make a killing off this new vaccine that they're gonna have to come up with.
I don't know that he's gonna be too worried about money.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you believe that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Some other the CEO from Disney stepped down. Walt Disney. The CEO from Amazon. I think he stepped down a while back, but the vice president or whatever of Amazon just stepped down. Match.com, LinkedIn. There's bunches of CEOs that are just stepping down. And then
my
several
question is, Joe, though, is why?
Yeah.
Why are they stepping down?
Well, I think the people at the top.
It's not. But here's my point: if they step down, that ain't going to keep them from getting arrested, will it?
No, it won't. And maybe it's stepped down because they're going to be out of the public eye. You know what I mean? It's like, we'll step down and we'll carry you off without kicking and screaming. I mean, I don't know.
But won't this won't this come out anyway? I mean, it's going to come out.
It will. But if they start carrying people away in handcuffs, imagine, okay, I mean, people are noticing that.
Are you there?
Bunches of CEOs are stepping. Yeah, a bunch of people are noticing that.
Are you there?
Yeah. Are you there?
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry we lost you there for a minute.
Yeah, so that's all right. So, if you see 10 big CEOs step down, people are like, well, that's weird. But if you see 10 big CEOs carried off in handcuffs, that could turn some heads, and that might make other people run, which is why you have sealed indictments in the first place. If they indicted you on a grand jury, and it's like everybody that was doing bad dealings with you, were like, they need to sneak out of here,
Oh, yeah. Let me inform our viewers of something. Tonight, during the week, we had a ton of technical problems last night with audio and video. Tonight, we're only running audio tonight because we're trying to isolate problems and work on one problem at a time. As you know, Joe, even when we were doing video and audio, it was either or. We were having problems. So right now, We're just doing it like a radio show. So,
and now you tell me I can quit trying to get my picture to come in.
So yes, we are
Thanks,
not.
Man.
Yeah, we are not doing video, and we will not be doing video again until we plan on doing this every night this week. Times are going to differ. I'll let people know, but we're trying to do this every week or every day for the 30-day quarantine that we put ourselves under. And we're only going to have videos on Saturday, and we're not guaranteeing what the video will be, but the sound will be pretty damn good. So back to you, back again, Joe. If you just hit the highlights of what you're saying that you believe this coronavirus thing is about, go ahead. You have the floor.
Yeah. I just there's something else, with the money system and stuff. Other things, strange things that have been going on. People know the stock market's jumping up and down, and I think this might be a global reset. I know what's coming, but I don't know exactly when. But I mean, to figure out what the plan is, that's impossible. I mean, we can just see some of the strange things happening, But there were several like Tom Hanks and his wife got said they tested positive.
Not Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks and his wife.
Now let's go.
Rita Wilson.
Let's talk about Tom.
But
Hanks.
Also did the Pope, and also did a couple of presidents, and Justin Trudeau and his family. They're all saying they're tested positive. So how is it? I know nobody that's got coronavirus and all these.
Well, and that's what we're going to. I said
top profile people.
My thing is that because they're high profile, they have access to the testing. All right, this is my thoughts on it, and you're welcome to disagree. But only 121 people have been tested in Indiana.
Well, something else too. I mean, to say.
Money talks, dude. Bullshit walks. We all know that.
Well, yeah, the reason I was going to say, is I was watching Trump talking with one of the people from CDC, and this lady said that of the people that are going down and getting tested, 1 to 2% are testing positive.
All right.
So the flu is rampant. So a lot of people with and it was somebody I work with here too. She was coughing and not feeling well, and people were freaking out, get away, get away. Well, she went down to the hospital and checked herself in. They quarantined her and checked her on. They're no, you got a cold.
Well, better to be, and my opinion on that is better be safe than sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, because you're probably not going to die from it anyway. It's probably not going to be any worse than any other flu. You know what I'm saying?
You know my case, and we're not putting it out there. Who's in my house?
Yeah.
Has
absolutely.
A compromised immune system.
Yes.
See, if you're in
certain situations, you should protect yourself against the plain flu, even. I mean, but as far as it being worse than the coronavirus, it might be a little more potent, but most people are recovering from it. I just was watching the thing or seeing a news thing about there was a 103-year-old woman in China that just recovered from the.
Yeah, I saw a 109-year-old. She recovered in 6 days.
Yeah.
So,
and there was another 101-year-old, or it's you think you'd be dying going to this, but I don't know.
And we're not saying, and I'm not saying, that everyone who contracts this is gonna die. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, first of all, do you want to be sick? I don't want to be sick.
Yeah.
Second of all, if you have somebody living in your home or somebody that you regularly visit, or if you're taking care, say you work at a nursing home, do you really want to take the chance of getting something that's real? And hopefully it's not. Hopefully you're right. Hopefully these pedophiles and child molesters are finally going to go to prison. Something's going to be done. These people,
they might just die from the Wu flu. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it might be military tribunals in the background, and you die from the Wu flu.
Yeah, we're calling it the Kung Fu flu. So,
Yeah.
because we don't want
Yep.
to we don't want to be insensitive to those people that live in Wuhan.
Right, yes.
You know, I don't need people saying
No.
we're racist.
Yeah.
But when do you see this coming to a head? I mean,
couple weeks to a month.
couple weeks to a month. Now,
Yeah.
my question to you, Joe, is you're questioning it, and like I say, like it says on our nameplate, question everything, search for the truth,
Yep, absolutely.
laugh for sanity. All right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
my question is if you find out that there is something to it, what's your plans?
Run in a circle and scream.
I mean, is it something
You mean
that
something to the coronavirus you're talking about?
Yeah. If you find out there's 100,000 or more infected, and the death toll just skyrockets, will you take steps there or no?
Skyrockets to anywhere near the level of the regular flu, because like tens of thousands of people die every year from the flu.
I understand that.
I mean, so if you're saying, if you're speculating that,
we're not trying to fearmonger, and they're saying, hey, if it's down into 50,000, great. I look at 50,000, I go, great. What the hell? They said, you know what? That ain't any worse than what the flu is. But I'm hearing, worst case scenario, if we peak by July, in July, we're looking at a quarter of the population coming down. That's 100,000 or better being infected, and 1 million Americans dying. Now, that's worst case scenario, and but sometimes don't you want to look at the worst case scenario?
well, yeah, sure. I mean, like when the boy cries wolf, and the worst case scenario is you all get eaten, so you keep jumping up and running out. After a while, you get tired of hearing wolves. You know what I mean? We had the.
And do you think as a nation that's where we're at? I mean, here's my here's my
we
thing.
had Zika, and
I don't want to make this political at all. All right, I do not want it to, and it always seems to go back to it. It always does, but I believe me, I don't want to make this political at all. But my question is, Obama, when we had the swine flu, he waited until 1,000 people died before he did a state of emergency. What if Trump had done that?
It didn't matter what Trump did; it would be wrong.
I mean,
no matter what it is, if he did exactly the same thing as Obama did, it would be wrong because it was a different situation.
I'm just not getting. You turn on CNN and then MSNBC, any of these mainstream news, and all you hear is how Trump has screwed things up. And it's. I know they're using it as a political weapon because
one interesting thing is
because they got nothing else. They have nothing else to use. When your talking head is Bernie Sanders or Joe Biden,
I heard somebody saying something about that. They were watching is there a Democratic debate tonight or something? Or
yes, it's been on.
I heard people saying about, oh man, I'm thinking I got to start watching these things. I care nothing about them, but they're saying some of the joke gaffes are great, So like the comedians are going to have a bunch of material tomorrow.
These two people are the most. You know what? I hear people crying. Oh, my wife was talking to one of her friends tonight, and her friend had went to the grocery store, and there was literally, Joe, nothing to get. Nothing that you would, nothing to buy as far as groceries. Now, this person ain't looking to stock up. She was looking to get dinner. And it scared her to death because the shelves are empty. What I want to say to the people in our area and LaPorte and surrounding areas, if not the nation, is if Bernie gets his way, get used to it.
Yeah.
Because that's what living under socialism is good. We can bring up video right now of Bernie Sanders saying, people in food lines, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Because only the rich would be getting food. That shows that they're getting food. The bread line's a good thing. Standing in line for hours, shelves being empty.
In socialist countries, people wait for food. In capitalist countries, food waits for people.
Exactly.
And
if Joe Biden gets elected president, who in the hell knows what's gonna fucking happen? Because this guy he can't even tell whether he's screwing his sister or his wife.
Well, you don't know. You don't know where he's at. What state? I
mean, right now he'd be talking about leg hair.
Yeah.
I mean, this
and
guy
having kids jump up and down on his lap.
This guy, wow, he don't. And here it is. Like I said, I feel bad for Biden. I mean, I really do, and I feel if you're his family member, does money and power mean that much to you? And obviously, the answer is yes, it does.
Well,
but
I don't really feel bad for a guy that stole $1 trillion from us.
Well, you can't prove that.
No, but billions.
And
I mean, and that'll come out. I mean, like his. Him and Kerry's stepson and Nancy Pelosi's son and, all of them. I think it was even Kerry's son that there was an email where he was like, I got to get out of this. This looks really bad. It's like, he has John Kerry's stepson.
I mean, and Pelosi. Wow.
Thing, but,
you got that monkey face shivering, quivering bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, she makes no sense at all. I don't know if you saw, they're saying let's be bipartisan. We need to do stuff for this corona vaccine. It's supposed to be bipartisan. And we talked about this last night. She tried to slip in there in this coronavirus bill that Trump's trying to pass to give money to abortion clinics. Where is this woman's priorities, man? I mean, we're already being, our money's already being stolen from us from taxes, and it's going to places we don't want it to go. We have no say where it goes.
These bills that they pass, plus the foreign aid and the military industrial complex, and all this, it's all money laundering schemes.
Yeah,
they're just fleecing us blind.
And Joe says you don't pay taxes. He wants to know Joe would like to hear from anybody who pays their taxes and doesn't
take
it from them.
They take it. I don't pay it.
And I've never been asked if I wanted to pay taxes. I've always been told to pay taxes. Although I love the IRS and leave me alone.
Yes, yeah. And knocking on your door there. Hey, Mr. Fischer. We hear you don't like paying.
Yeah. So, now, this information that you're talking about, all this, these indictments, have any of them been unsealed since it started?
Yeah, like I say, a few of them here and there, but I think it's too.
I'm talking about when they're unsealed, you can read them as a as far as public. That's what a sealed indictment is that you was there anybody who's
there's a website called there's a website, I think it's pacer.gov or pacer.com or something like that, and then that's where they all are, and they because it's a government website, it's kind of like the Obamacare website. It's tough to find stuff on, but
hey, go ahead and repeat that website for everyone.
It's pacer.gov or pacer.com. I can't remember.
P-A-C?
That's what I say. I can't spell.
P-A-C-E-R?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look that up and try it. I think it was spelled different, but maybe it's just spelled differently than I do.
Don't tell me what to do, Joe. Gosh.
Yeah. But there are places, there are people that keep track of these and list them all up for you.
Really? Has there been any of notoriety that have been unsealed that you've noticed or you've seen?
There was some, like in the Department of Justice or the FBI or something like that, like a month ago.
Really?
Some sealed indictments, yeah. But, this stuff, it doesn't make it on the news. It gets picked up in some of the other, alternative news, like on YouTube and stuff. And somebody good that I like to listen to, that she's a retired school teacher.
You love what you
love.
Yeah,
that's one of the big ones. But this other one, she's got like tens of thousands of followers, but she's over in Plymouth, Indiana.
Oh, really?
And she just did her last YouTube thing.
It is. By the way, Joe, Jocelyn looked that up, and it's pacer.gov.
Pacer.gov. Okay.
Yes. So anyone who wants to check out on these sealed indictments,
you know where I look for those, because there's what they call the indictments anon.
Yes.
And he keeps track of these. Yes. If you go to qmap.pub. And at the top, there's a bunch of different things.
Foil hat wearing son of a gun.
Yes, I am. But if you click, but the thing with it too is you click on it, it'll have a map, and there'll be like the more indictments, the redder the state. But you can click on those, and you can scroll down there and see all of them and the date that they were filed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's information. Like you can click on, California and just scroll down, see all the indictments and when they were sealed.
Now here's what I want to say to anybody listening.
But then you can take those and go to pacer.gov.
Joe,
and find them.
Joe, don't shut up when I talk. So
no, I don't. I'm on a roll, baby. Hey, was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Just let him go. He's on a roll.
It was Japan, dumbass. Anyway, what the point I want to make to the listeners or anybody listening is, you may look at Joe and go, "Oh, he listens to Q. Well, I'm going to discredit everything he says." That's the problem. That's why we say question everything, search for the truth, check out Q. I can't understand the shit. I'm a dumbass. I look at, oh, Q posted something. I don't even get what this means. But Joe has done his research and looked at it, and he's convinced that Q knows what's going on. Now, is there more going on? I mean, has Q been right where it has to be more than a coincidence, in your opinion?
And no doubt about that. Well, there's no doubt that Q is connected and closely connected with the president.
I mean, you showed me one picture which I thought was amazing. That Q posted a picture of Donald Trump. Q was inside Marine One, and Trump was stepping out onto the Rose Garden, or walking out to the Rose Garden. He has to be pretty high up to get that picture, I would think.
There's been pictures inside Air Force One.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember one of them. It was a picture of something.
It was a reflection.
Yeah, it was a reflection, and we're like, "What is that?" But there was a picture I think Donald Trump had posted of him in Air Force One, and then if you look up in the corner or whatever, it's like there's the reflection, but it's like zoomed in, And Q said something about, is it, what do you say, is it national security if I post a reflection or something like that. Because he didn't actually take a picture of the Air Force One. He took a reflection off of something in it, but...
Now, my question to you, Joe, is if all this is out there, why is everybody trying to discredit this QAnon?
Well, I saw some people... there's somebody that I was watching that she put some interesting stuff up. She's in Indiana. She started the you remember the Tea Party?
Yeah.
She started the Tea Party in Indiana, and she was really fighting against some crap with property taxes or something like that. And but she's a Q follower, and I'll watch her because she does a lot of research, and she'll put some interesting stuff up that I'll catch. And I watched somebody else that I'm friends with on Facebook, and they made some comment on old Melly, what a nut, and I simply put down, and they were saying, yeah, because they said, well, what about, give us some information about it. So what they posted was somebody that looks at somebody that looks at Q or something like that. I was like, I just said, here, why don't you go to the resource yourself? And I dropped the link to qmat.pub, and I said, those that were seen dancing were thought to be crazy by those that could not hear the music,
Yeah.
You might think, yeah, they're crazy. Well, now get in there and listen to the music yourself, It's, hey, it's just like JFK. Well, that's a conspiracy theory. Anybody that doesn't believe that, Lee Harvey Oswald shot him because, the news told me, why don't you look up some of the research yourself? And then you start to think, wait a minute, I didn't know all that stuff.
And that's the thing.
There's something else called Q proofs. Yeah, go ahead.
The thing is that's why we say search. This stuff you have to search for. You just don't question. You have to search for it. You have to go to the right places to find the answers to the questions.
And not only search for it, but you got to filter through misinformation.
And
because you're throwing you off the track. If you just go to YouTube and search in QAnon, you're going to find a bunch of these wacko videos,
Oh, yeah, because you get blacklisted on YouTube. You get put, either you get just totally taken off, demonetized, or they just hide you in the mounds of YouTube channels. We get, I think our biggest watching now has been like a dozen people. And here's my thing. I know that the people watching are patriots. I know, they're pro-Second Amendment. But here's my thing is, guys, we're doing our part here. We're trying to inform people. We're trying to get the truth out there. And we're doing our part on this end. Yeah, granted, it's sloppy. It's probably not the most professional thing you've ever... Sure, now ain't the most professional thing I've ever listened to. But the thing is we're doing what we can. We're trying. And I hear all these people say, oh, if it became a hot war in this country, I'll pull triggers. I call bullshit on that. When you can't even share a podcast and help us out and to get this information out because you're embarrassed of what you might believe or what they might hear on this channel. Hey, we question everything. I don't care what it is. If it's the moon landing, we'll question it. Let's look at it. Why are you afraid to look at it? If it's flat Earth, let's talk about it. Let's question it. It may be a crazy idea, but let's question it. Why not?
You put the website out there, qmap.com. It's like I'm afraid to go there because I might. They might trick me. Like, hey.
and here's the thing:
look,
that you say you can pull. You're willing to go to war and do all this stuff. If it's civil war, it's civil war, and I'm pulling triggers. But you can't hit the share button.
Yeah.
You can't tell people, hey, listen to this show. Don't listen.
I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm afraid of people making fun of me, but if their bullets were flying, I would jump right up and run in.
If it came down to it, where the metal meets the meat, boy, I'm going to be out there. Dude, you won't even share our channel. How are you...
I'm not afraid of being killed, but getting my feelings hurt, that's where I draw the line, you know.
I mean, our watching is real low. But you know, I get messages all the time. Hey, what you're doing is very important. Keep it up. Then why aren't you sharing it? I mean, one person could get 10 people watching. That would maximize what we have viewing right now. But people don't do it because I guess they're afraid. And if you're afraid of sharing information, then I call bullshit on you saying you're going to stand up. And I'm not cutting it on our listeners. I get it.
There you are.
No, I'm really not.
Well,
I've said that to my relatives. I've said that to people that sit on our panel on our show. I called bullshit on them. I've said that to people I love. I mean, we can't even get people to hit the thumbs up button. I'm asking people. I just wrote on here, please press the thumbs up button. Share, get others listening, because it's, you know what? I can be on here all day long talking and giving you facts, and Joe can be giving you, you know, analysis of what he studied and spent hours looking up. And if you don't share it and you don't tune in, then, I mean, really, what's the point? You know,
I think in a couple weeks, maybe a month or so, it might be a little bit easier. People might be more interested in finding out what's going on. When things are happening, it's like, what? What is that? They might be more open to it.
But I've tried to. I mean, I've been in Facebook arguments, or even arguments right at work or other places and stuff, and big arguments. And it's like, these people aren't ready, but I'm softening them up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, my thing is that I don't think you're correct. I think the masses are asses, and I think they're sheeple, and they want to watch their horse whisperer and forget the world around them. And the reason the world is in the shape it is because
of that,
is because good, honest, hardworking patriots have buried their head in the sand and they don't want to hear it. Leave me alone. Yeah. Let me be fat and happy. And, buddy, I'm fat. You know it. You've stood next to me. You know I'm a fat ass. But the thing is we've gotten so comfortable that first of all, why people are panicking right now is because no one's prepared. And where there's preparation, there is no panic. Do you feel I'm wrong there?
Yeah. You know,
you do think I'm wrong?
No, I don't think. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Wow, I was thinking, man, what an asshole.
Yeah. No. And it's like the toilet. It's like the toilet paper thing. I remember, back I used to keep. I'd get one of the big things, the toilet paper, like the 48 rolls or whatever, and put it upstairs.
Yeah.
But I would also keep another 48 rolls down in the basement. And Maria used to laugh at me. She said, I'm shopping for an Armageddon. Well, you know what? The last time I took toilet paper out, I sniff it. It's not spoiled or anything, I couldn't find the expiration date on the package, so, I check it and make sure it's still good. I'm not going to taste it, but, I haven't go that far, but it doesn't hurt nothing,
No.
And it's like I said, if something happens, we got it, and then the one time, his family wasn't feeling well and had diarrhea or whatever, but we went through some toilet paper, and she hadn't got around to get any, or I hadn't got down there to get any, and we were out. It was like, you still got that toilet paper in the basement? I'm like, yep, I do. You want some of it?
You stupid ass.
It's like, yeah. I'm just like, hey, I just kind of,
do you think...
you could see she understood at that point, and right now, I've got plenty of toilet paper,
Yeah, and the thing is that I have the feeling that whether this comes to be or becomes anything comes out of this, whether it's a national tragedy or whether it's just one of these another Ebola things, I I believe this is going to change the way normal people think in this situation. I hope it does.
I believe that's the intention. I believe that they are, and there might be more to come, and maybe people will be ready for the big thing that's coming. Yes, there is. I don't know what.
Oh, something's
but,
coming.
And I remember back.
I
remember back
coming.
November. Yeah, November 2018. There was and that's when I found out. A couple months before that, I found out about the sealed indictments, and there was a couple things happen. I'm like, it's going to happen, and I bought. Hold on.
Are you okay? All right, Joe has a call. Joe's at work talking to us. That's where he gets most of his personal business done. So,
Yep. I gotta go.
All right. Well, Joe's going to be out of here. Joe, if you get a chance, give us a call back.
Okay.
Always a pleasure talking with you. We miss you over here.
Oh. Let me finish what I was going to say though.
Okay.
I start putting meat in the in the freezer, and I start putting some other, like macaroni and noodles and ramen and stuff like that. And Connor was like, "Oh, you turned into a prepper." I'm like, "Well, yeah, but you never know." And I kept thinking something was going to happen, thinking something was going to happen, and it didn't. But bang, now something did, and I've got stuff to make us for a few weeks.
Exactly. And the thing is that who did you hurt? Even if you didn't have it, that's less groceries you had to buy, that week. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, Joe,
I gotta go.
Joe, we're going to let you go, and give us a call back if you get a chance.
Okay, all right, yep, bye.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. I want to give a shout out here to Brad Albers. Thanks for sharing this, Brad. We need it. We're trying to do our part. I know that it's sloppy. I know. Man, I ain't got a face that's pretty on any camera. You should see me in person. You have. I am one ugly son of a bitch. But we're doing our best, man. We're trying to get information out. We're not trying to scare anybody. We're not trying to hurt anybody. We're trying to actually save people, help people. I know Brad's a big listener of shows like ours, and that's what we need. But we also need to share it with those that don't agree with us and a lot of our... See, conspiracy theory, the word came from the JFK assassination. What they did was they made that word into a bad word. We all know there's conspiracies. And these things that they call conspiracy theories, a lot of them have come out to be true, guys. I mean, come on. We talked about the Tuskegee program. That was a conspiracy. Our government would never hurt us. Our government would never do anything against us. Except for shoot African Americans up with syphilis. And you can look this up. And not only did we do this to African Americans in this country, we did it to people down in Guatemala. We did it down in South America. We also told women that were pregnant that we were going to give them prenatal care and had them drink or injected them with nuclear poison. I don't remember what it was actually called, but we injected them or had them ingest radiation to see what would happen. You better believe okay. This is how you put it in perspective. How many people die of the flu every year? We know that it's anywhere between 20, 70,000. I believe it was in 1990 we had our worst case in recent history of around 100,000. I may be wrong. It may have been 90,000, but that was the worst case scenario. Let's go through the past century. What has killed more people I'm here to tell you it's government. Government has killed more people. The death toll from any disease does not compare to what governments have killed of their own population. We can bring up those numbers here in a little bit. If Justin, if you want to look up those numbers for me, let's look up numbers of people killed by their government in the past century. Guys, you're gonna look up stuff and you're gonna go to Google, and Google ain't the best place to find the truth. Google's gonna I use Google. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I use there's DuckDuckGo. Joe got me on that. Joe's a good guy to when he's on the show and he has something to say. Same with Ed Beeman. If them two have something to say, and they're everyone on a show, I wouldn't have them on the show if they weren't important and they had something to say. Now, I'm not gonna go to Austin over a political thing other than the Second Amendment. If I have a question about the Second Amendment, you can bet your ass I'm gonna ask Austin. What's going on in that area in politics. I'm going to ask Austin. But when Ed Beeman or Joe Novak open their mouth, you better open your ears, because something's going to be said that you're going to want to hear. It may not affect you right now, but it's going to affect you down the road. My whole point is that we have to care enough about people to get the truth to them, and they need to learn to question what they're told and to question their government. Listen, we have to hold their feet to the fire, or we're not going to get the truth. Hey, listen, do you think they want the real numbers of infected people with the Kung Fu flu really getting out there? If it is as bad as what they're saying it's going to be? No, because we're having panic. Like I've said 100 times already, we had panic in LaPorte County over one individual. One. The grocery store shelves are empty. Over one. What would they have done? What would happen? I'm telling you, if you ain't a believer in the Second Amendment, boy, you're going to be when they find out, if it gets as bad as 100,000s in the thousands in, our surrounding counties, because there are going to be people trying to break into your house if they know you got things. And believe me, they don't want to be breaking into my house. They don't want to be trying to get in my house. I don't know about yours, but they're going to be. They'll get fed. They'll get their belly full of lead. So we're looking at the numbers of people killed by their government in the last century. Do we have any of those numbers up?
This is from 1900 to 1999. I can't find anything.
All right, we'll go with what we got right here. 1900 to 1999. Give me a country.
A country?
Yeah, what?
China.
China. From 1900 to 1999. How many?
This is from 1949.
1949 to
87.
to 1987.
76,702.
Oh, that number's false, but yeah, I don't think you have that blown up. Sorry, guys, we do a lot of stuff on the fly. That's why this is real. We don't have a teleprompter. We don't have a script. We don't have anything wrote down. I may write myself a note, but this is how you know we're real, because we got to look things up too. I don't want to give you false information. I want to give you the best I can, but I know that number is fixed.
Okay. From 1900 to 1999.
1900 to 1999. I believe they can hear you. I'm not sure.
38,000 or 38 million in China.
So 38 million people from and I believe that number's cooked. I believe it's more than that. Chairman Mao, was a ruthless son of a bitch, all right? Communism is terrible. Guys, terrible. And that's what you get if you get Bernie Sanders. Chairman Mao killed so many of his people. I mean, this site says 37 million between 1900 and
1999. Well, that's just for China.
1999. That's only China, 37 million. And I believe that number ain't correct. I believe it's a lot more than that. Steve said, how about the killing fields in Vietnam? I believe that more Cambodia than Vietnam. We just listen. Government has do the search yourself. I mean, you don't need me telling you. Do the search yourself, and that'll answer your question. There, what you should fear more is your government, and you need to hold their feet to the fire. Now, I've said it, and I'll say it again. I believe President Trump is doing the best he can for this country. If you want to hate me for being a Trump supporter, hate me. But I have seen this man fulfill more promises than I have any other president in my life put together. He's not my guy where if he does something wrong, that I would not call him out on it. I am going to call him out on the things, and I have. And you know what? I've called him out on one thing, and that was the killing of what was his name, Soleimani. And then I was wrong. I was like, holy shit! Now here we go, another war. No, and nothing came of it. He killed a guy that killed thousands. Was responsible for thousands of our troops being killed. And I'll tell you what, the world's better off. If you don't think, I mean, right now we got our phone line open. If you believe that the world ain't better off with Soleimani in it, give us a call, 219-380-9918. Guarantee I'm not going to hear from nobody. But if you feel that way, give us a call. I'd love to hear from you and hear why you think the world's not better off with a head of a terrorist organization being dead isn't, better off for the country or better off for the world. And listen, being a nationalist doesn't mean you're a Nazi. It means you care about your country first and foremost. And we haven't had that. We've had everybody caring about every place else but here as far as presidents. And now we have one that cares about us. Are you better off than what you were 6 months ago, 6 years ago? Yeah, hell yeah, you are. You're a liar if you say you're not. And if you're not, it's probably your own fault. Hate to break it to you. I don't care about your feelings. It's probably your own fault. The question you have to ask yourself is, why is everything he does scrutinized? Even when it's a good thing, why? Why is wanting your borders closed? If you have no borders, you have no nation. Why do people want to take care? The people that want to take care of people that aren't citizens of this country are usually the people that don't work and pay taxes. And that's why socialism don't work. Because the few that work take care of the many who don't. It's taken from those that have and given it to those who have not. Do I believe we can end the welfare system right now, just call it quits and hang it up? Hell no, we can't. We couldn't. I mean, if you care about your fellow man at all, you can't do that. But we can weed out the ones that actually don't want to work and take care of the ones that do. I have said it many times that if the church would step up to the plate and do more, and I know the church is doing stuff, but no one is doing well, first of all, no one's doing enough, but no one's given what they can. No one's helping their fellow, including myself, helping their fellow man as much as they can. It should not be upon the federal government to take care, to be your daddy. Again, they are there to protect us. Protect us from things like what? An invading force. You know what? We have to have like the CDC or, you know, if there was no news, you wouldn't know what was coming. That's what happened with the Spanish flu. You can't you can't prepare for something you don't know what's gonna that you don't know what's out there. The thing is that if just because you can't see it, don't mean it's not there. You know, you can walk down a dark alley. You better be aware of your surroundings and pay attention because you can't see what's in there. It can jump out and grab you. If you're not prepared, you're going to be defeated. And that's all we're trying to do, folks, is we're just trying to let you know, hey, there's stuff out there that can hurt you, and it's better to be prepared. Now we're going to give our buddy Steve a call. Hopefully he answers. I know he's listening, but it's always we always have a good time talking with Steve. So we'll give him a call here and see if he picks up. Okay. And it's ringing.
Well, hey there.
Hey, it's Steve. Steve, you're live on here, bud.
Hey.
So I don't know if you've caught the whole show or not.
Well, you start at 6, right?
We didn't start till around 7, a little after 7 tonight.
Yeah, I get up at 8 o'clock Indiana time.
All right, so what have you heard so far?
Some of my friends sent me some various posts on the closing of various establishments.
Yeah, what do you hear?
Yeah, I'll give you, for instance, a Blue Chip. You know,
Yes,
it's shut down as of Monday.
All right, as of Monday, Blue Chip in Michigan City is closed.
For, what did they say, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. All right, so...
Yeah. I guess a 2-week period, that's going to get rid of the coronavirus.
Yeah, I don't think so. Again, Steve agrees with me that you agree that this is a bioweapon that was released, don't you?
Oh, heavens, yes.
All right, go ahead.
Even though the coronavirus appears on many different things like tobacco, candle, Lysol, different disinfectants.
This is a strain that we have never seen before. That's why this is why it's so dangerous. This ain't the human coronavirus that our body has antibodies to. Our bodies don't know how to fight this off. We have no antibodies.
Why did they rename it COVID-19, for instance? Because it's really not the coronavirus. That's why.
Yeah, it's not the human coronavirus that's on the back of the Lysol can, people. Well, you got to realize what makes this so deadly or potentially deadly. I'm not saying either way, but what makes it this way is that our bodies have never encountered this before. Therefore, we have no antibodies. Our bodies are like, how in the hell do we get rid of this? The good thing is if you're a healthy person, a young, healthy person, your body learns real quick how to fight it off.
Exactly. And the other thing, this COVID-19 mutates.
Yes.
That's
what we're hearing, that usually when you catch a virus, you don't catch it again that season. If my understanding's correct, I may be totally wrong, but this one is mutating where people that have already had it are getting it again, correct?
Correct. Correct.
From your
and-
knowledge, I mean, I don't want to make you a liar. I'm just saying from what you know.
Yeah, it keeps coming back, and that, I'm a little suspicious of myself, so to speak. I've been fighting this thing for the last 9 months. Oh, geez, I feel better now.
Yeah.
Month or two later, and I am sick again.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling the viewers. A couple months ago, my whole family came down. It was the worst sickness, and I can't even call it a flu. I wasn't throwing up. My chest was so congested, and I was coughing nothing up. It was the sickest I've ever been. I've never been that sick in that week. And, man, I think it's been around for a while now. And I think we're in for a rude awakening, and the public's in for a shock when these tests get out there and all the population gets tested.
Well, the scientists in India and various other places have said that this COVID-19 has HIV virus encoded into it.
And that's the transmitter.
That's exactly.
That's the transmitter. Just mocking the HIV virus. We're not saying, think we're saying, we're not starting a conspiracy here. We're not saying that if you have the coronavirus, you have HIV. We're talking the way that this is transmitted is similar to the way that HIV is transmitted. And the life cycle of the virus on surfaces, I believe also that affects.
Life cycle, right, because it keeps mutating. Like the HIV virus. Once you get it, you got it.
Yeah. And the thing is, what's scary about this, Steve, is that once that fibrosis and scarring of the lungs happens, that damage is done. Whether you recover or not, the damage is done. And then if you can catch it again, wow, you're going to be in bad shape.
I had a doctor years ago. I got the pneumonia. Now this is when I was young. They called it walking pneumonia. It's a form of pneumonia, but it's not as bad as full-blown pneumonia. Nevertheless, it's there.
Yeah.
And he told me it's a lot more dangerous. He said because people don't realize they really got it until it's too late.
Yeah.
So I was on home care. I was home with home care with this several times, at 3 weeks at a time. And he told me the problem was, he said, you've had walking pneumonia so many times. He said, I can see the scars where you've had it. He said it makes you susceptible to catch it again.
And it also puts you at risk of if this is as bad as what they're saying, which I'm tending to think it's worse than what they're saying, Steve.
Me too. I agree with that.
I believe they don't want worldwide or nationwide panic, and I can't blame Trump for that. I can't.
No, well, who could?
You see what happens in our community when one person is verified having it.
Exactly.
I think
and
when they get these tests out there, they're opening up a can of worms, aren't they?
Yeah, and they got Trump painted up like he's sitting at home with his handy-dandy chemistry set inventing all this stuff. These are some brain-dead people.
But here's the thing, Steve, is that people like you, even though you seem healthy, but you have this damage within your lungs you're not aware of. You don't see it. If I've never had the lung x-rays, I don't know what damage is. I'm a smoker. You're a smoker. Our lungs aren't in great shape. You're in danger.
Exactly.
If you catch this Kung Fu flu, you're in danger. I'm sorry. My wife, it scares me to death, and I'm glad we're quarantining ourselves. She works in a bar, and she's around people all the time. Scares me to death that, she has asthma real bad. But if she gets this, I don't know what the outcome could be. But the thing is,
I know.
is I want to prevent that. So, like we said last night, Steve, I'd rather overreact than underreact.
Underreact, exactly. Well, okay, I'll give you for instance.
What's
Okay, so
Go ahead, Steve.
I went and bought a bunch of dry good foods. Dried noodles, rice, beans, stuff you can add water to, cook, whatever, and it's there. Beans, for instance. I mean, the shelf life of dried beans in a bag is almost forever, dude.
Yeah, older than you.
Yeah. All you got to do is cook them, and you got instant.
But my question is, if you're starving to death, you ain't gonna worry about an expiration date. Sorry.
Exactly, and this run on toilet paper. How stupid! I can just see that scenario. Poor Dan, he died of starvation. Yeah, but boy, he had a clean ass.
Yeah. That's for sure. The hysteria. How did this toilet paper become the staple item that they picked?
Like a row of dominoes. All you got to do is topple that first domino, for instance.
Just
and they all go
one
down.
idiot buys 10 32 packs, and the next idiot sees it and says, you know what? I need 10 packs too.
Exactly. Now think about it. If we would all be buying toilet paper at a normal rate, there'd be plenty of it there.
Yep. And
plenty of it there.
Yeah, but you never know when you're going to need. I don't know where you would. I have nowhere to store that. I mean, we have toilet paper in our house, and sometimes I look at the stack of it, and I'm like, man, that is a lot of toilet paper. I accuse the women in my house of eating toilet paper because I just don't use that much. That's because I have poor hygiene. But I just don't know where it goes. But the thing is that, okay, we are getting short. I'll go to the store and grab some. Well, no, I can't because some fucking idiot bought 10 packs of it, and the idiot behind him said, you know what, that's a good idea. Fuck the food. Exactly. I'm going to grab, fuck the beans, fuck the ramen noodles. I need some Charmin. And it's so asinine. But you were talking about you were talking about closings. You said Blue Chip, Michigan City, closed 2 weeks.
Yep. The article I was reading was Indiana casinos.
All right. What about Four Winds in South Bend?
That was on the same article. They said that they had no plans of closing.
Now, is it true that Four Winds does not have to go by state law because they're their own nation?
Right.
So
they're what you call sovereign.
They're sovereign.
Which means they're sovereign, right? They're separated from state rule.
So I heard there was a call to close all casinos in Indiana, but they don't have to follow that rule because they're a sovereign nation.
Right.
Because of their tribe.
Right. And what most people don't know, you go into a Indian-run casino and you break the law in there, that's federal time.
Yeah, that's no joke. That's no joke.
Federal time, and you're going to do a lot more time for public intoxication or, assault or whatever they charge them with. You're going to do a lot more time, but you're going to be in a lot more trouble.
Well, I don't want to put out where you work, but I know you deal with a lot of the public and foreign travelers and stuff like that.
Many different ethnic backgrounds. Yes, sir.
How are you feeling, man? Are you feeling safe? What's the rule? Steve is a security. I can say that much. Steve is security. He's worked security and policing his whole life. And how are you dealing with this, man? Are you keeping people at a distance? Are you? I mean, I'd hate to think that you're shaking everyone's hand and,
No, that I'm not doing. But as far as keeping my distance, well, I don't have much of a choice there.
Yeah. Now, I understand. I'm lucky. I'm in a position, lucky and lucky. I'm self-employed. I don't have to leave the house to make money. All right. I understand that there's people, I've been there just a few months ago, where I had to go to work every day. All right.
Oh, yeah.
But when's the point, Steve, when, especially in your circumstance, where you're dealing with a lot of foreigners, and I know that's going to cut off soon because we've put these travel bans in place. But
right.
the thing is that your place can't shut down, and probably won't. And I don't want to give away. But my question is when does it come to the point? Do you feel that you're going to say, you know what, enough's enough? Money ain't worth my life.
Exactly.
When do you get to that point, Steve? You're in the place where I know you have to go to work.
I have to.
Yeah, but when does it get to that point where you say enough's enough?
If I actually wanted to, I could say, well, I'm scared. I'm going to go ahead and file for retirement.
Yeah.
I could get my early retirement.
Yeah.
And, of course, I can get that. Well, guess what? I'm going to have to work anyway to pay for insurance because I'm not going to get Medicaid.
Yeah. It's a scary time. I mean, I know most of our listeners aren't, they're employed by companies, and if they don't go to work, the bills ain't paid. I mean, in certain jobs, you can separate. I know in your case, just like an EMT or a nurse or a doctor or or a police officer, any public servant or government employee, you don't have the luxury of distancing yourself.
Right. I know this individual that works in a nursing home in Illinois, for instance, and of course, like most of the nursing homes now, no visitation. They're not allowing a visitation.
Yeah,
and
that's a good thing.
You're right, and their employees they're checking their temperature every day.
Yeah, I have a daughter-in-law that works in a nursing home in Porter County, I believe it is.
Right.
Pretty much, you got to be on a self-quarantine other than going to work, and they're checking you at the door.
Now, you can carry this COVID virus without actually having a fever if you pay attention to the symptoms of it.
Oh, yeah, and that's what's scary is, we are in flu season. People do have colds. And don't freak out, people. I mean, if you're running a fever, if you know what, just be on the side of caution. If you're not running, when these tests become available, which I think they will by the end of this week, they're supposed to be setting up places like in Walmart parking lots. And by the way, I heard Walmart was closing at 11 tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are they staying closed?
No, they're closing just for stocking reasons.
So, okay, all right. Because I was like, wow, if Walmart's closing for good, man, we're in big trouble.
Yeah, stocking that. Everybody wants to sanitize the place.
Everybody wants to cut on Walmart, but how many people do they employ? How many people shop at Walmart? I know I can't afford to go to the mall and shop. I have to do my shopping at Walmart.
I only buy just a few things from Walmart, and no, I don't go there for groceries no more.
I mean, I'm just saying that everybody shops at Walmart, dude, that we hang out with, that we know. We're not elitists that can afford to go to Fifth Avenue and buy clothes.
Well, I'll give you, for instance, not to run an advertisement for this particular place, but I still enjoyed myself. I went to I Street Meats today and got a 10-pound roll of hamburger.
Oh, there you go.
You know, it was $28.
No, we want to support our neighborhood stores and our privately owned mom and pop stores. Go ahead and advertise for them. What store was that?
Exactly. That's I Street Meats.
I Street Meats. You heard
Yep.
it. They got good deals over there, good pricing.
The good pricing on their steaks. They're just like any place else. Well, you might say, oh, well, I can go over here and get a little better price over there. That's true with any place.
Yeah.
Any place. They're all going to be competitive. What one store has for sale, the other one won't. But as a whole, it's a nice, friendly place. Another thing you got to look at is service. You know, they treat you there like, hey, you're a part of the family. Hey, don't go out of your way. Well, this is over here. You get good service. All you got to do is ask one question. You get good service.
Yeah.
What's showing that? Hey, I want your business back.
Yep.
Or a huge place like Walmart, or many places like that, they could less care. You know.
Yeah. They and that's always been the fact with the mom and pop stores and instead of these large chains, you're going to get better service. The pricing is because of quantity. I mean, a mom and pop store ain't going to be able to keep in stock what all Walmarts can do. I mean, it's just common sense.
You know, and another thing, I remember years ago when Walmart first got started, and it run Kmart out of business. You go into a Walmart store. The first one I went into was out in Southwest.
Yeah.
There were a lot of Walmart Southwest, Oklahoma, Texas.
Yeah, there was a bunch
like
up in Michigan, too, Walmart and Meijer. I never heard of living here in Indiana.
Right, and you go in there and 9 out of 10 things on them shelves were American-made. Sam Walton, that was the backbone of his business. I'm an American company. I sell American.
Yep. That changed, huh?
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing, Steve, and this is a point I wanted, and I'm glad you brought that up. Here's a point I wanted to get out there is the Chinese think they're going to get away with releasing this virus. This is the third time this has happened that they've caused a pandemic.
Pandemic, yeah.
This is worldwide. They think they can get away with it with no repercussions. I see the world. I don't think manufacturing is going to be the same for China anymore. I think that they're going to start being held accountable, and I think, especially with Trump in office, I think you're going to see manufacturing jobs popping up everywhere. I think that the United States is going to start making its own stuff again. And you know what?
Yes.
These companies are going to have no choice but to buy American-made.
Starting with pharma.
Oh, and they've threatened, for our listeners who don't know, China has threatened the United States saying, hey, you know what? We're not going to tell you how we got rid of this. Also, we ain't going to give you the medicines you need. Because as of right now, we're reliant on China for a lot of our medications. And
you're absolutely right. I was reading an article where the Chinese government, now we had these cargo ships coming here from China, and China turned them ships around and made them come back to port. They had, these particle masks and different medical supplies and things like that they supply the U.S. with. That was more than just a threat. They turned their ships around.
Listen, the U.S. is the largest consumer country in the world. We can prosper a country, or we can sink a country. If we stop buying, you are going to fail. And listen, China.
We are the economic hub of the world.
You. And I'm sorry to my sensitive listeners, we talk adult. You fuck with the U.S., you're fucking with the wrong country. Because we will turn our back on you, and we will stop buying things that have China written on it. And thanks to Trump says, okay, sons of bitches don't want to give us what we need. Now not only are we the leading in fuel production, but now we're going to be the leading in pharma production. And you know what? That's
Yeah.
a good idea because we don't need the Chinese fentanyl that's killing all our people here in this country with this opioid epidemic.
Oh my God, yes. Well, they don't mind sending that to us, do they?
Oh no, they'll send that to us in fucking tugboats full. Well, there's enough to kill the world 2 times over that they ship to the United States.
That's on one shipment, one cargo ship.
Yeah, I mean, what's killing people in this opioid epidemic is the fentanyl. All right? And that's what's killing these people, and it's coming from China.
Exactly. I mean, most people don't know that fentanyl makes morphine look like baby aspirin.
Yeah, the orange flavored.
Yeah, the orange flavored chewable. And that's the truth. I mean, that's the best perspective I can give of that. That's some dangerous stuff.
Oh, dude, you don't want it. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, they had a relative that their relative accidentally took fentanyl that another person in their house was, and it almost killed him. This was a prescribed dose for a family member, and this girl took it, and it almost killed her.
Wow.
So that's dangerous shit, man. You don't want to get involved in it, but this opioid epidemic that we're having also on top of this Kung Fu flu, this opioid epidemic, what starts that? You look at Detroit back in the boom days, back when America actually made vehicles, good vehicles.
Good vehicles.
Detroit was a booming city.
Oh, yes.
It was where, you could raise a family. It was a nice place to live. You go there now, I'm sorry. I know Trump got in trouble for saying shithole country. That's a shithole city.
It sure is.
The cops won't even respond. And that just goes to show, count your blessings. You want to cut on LaPorte County? Count your blessings you live here. The police ain't afraid to come help. Where in Detroit,
right.
They won't even show up. As a matter of fact, their chief of police said, you better get a firearm because we ain't going to be there.
Exactly, boy, and he got into a lot of trouble for that one, as you remember right.
You betcha. Well, and here, the thing is that what happened when manufacturing went under, when the United States sold out and shipped their manufacturing to China, to Mexico, to all these countries where these billionaires are paying pennies on the dollar for what they make. And what happened to these communities? When you have no hope, you turn to something that helps you cope. Be it alcohol,
Exactly.
Be it drugs. That happens in every community. You think you're above that? You're not. Alcohol, and you don't even have to be in a bad state. As far as it's an addiction. It's a sickness.
And did you see that on the news? Champaign, Illinois, it's now, because of the COVID virus over there in Champaign, you can't buy a firearm or alcohol.
Well, yeah, because you don't want people with the sniffles having a gun. What is that?
Come on.
No, Illinois is a beast of its own. That's its own fucked up place. As far as where we are right now, look at the manufacturing. You remember Alzheimer's.
Oh, my God, yes.
I remember fondly Field Container, Whirlpool, countless other manufacturers.
Teledyne.
Yeah. Where are all these places? It's a ghost town.
LaPorte was full of foundries.
It was booming.
Machine shops, yes.
It was booming. And it's gone. What fills that gap? What fills that gap is drug abuse. It always does. It always has. That's not giving these people an excuse. It is that you may not condone it, but you have to understand it.
That's part of that's like the Bolshevik movements. That's part of the communist movement. What you do is you deindustrialize the country. That way they become, of course, dependent on the good old government.
Yep, and that's what we talk about is we were talking with Joe earlier. I don't know if you were tuning in.
Yeah.
We were talking.
Yeah, he had to.
Go ahead.
He had to hurry up and get off there. I heard that.
Yeah, Joe. We were talking to Joe, and we were talking about socialist, and the goal of every socialist country is communism. That's the end goal. If you don't believe
that
me,
is the end goal.
Look it up. Socialism, the end goal is communism. That's what they want. And that's where
I know it.
The state controls everything. You own nothing. All right?
The state controls everything you own, everything you do, everything you say, everything you eat.
Yes, you will eat when they tell you to eat. You will shit when they tell you to shit. You will do what they tell you to do.
And you're also in line, you stand in a big long line for not just food, like you guys said a little while ago.
Yeah.
In a communist country, you stand in line for food. In a capitalist country, the food waits for the people.
Yeah, that's
it's the same thing. It's the same thing with pharmaceuticals. That happens here. You'll be waiting in line for medical treatment.
Well, I keep on hearing these fools talking about Canada. Do you know how many Canadians come here for medical treatment?
Many.
Listen, I'm sure a lot of our viewers listen to, or a lot of our listeners listen to Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder is from Canada. Steven Crowder's mother, I believe I got this right. If you need a MRI right now, you can go get an MRI today.
Right.
You can go. We take that for granted. In Canada, you wait for weeks, months,
months
to get an MRI. Let alone, hey, when you got stage 4 cancer, stage 3 cancer, you ain't got time to wait for months.
No.
But listen, those people that want a free ride, that also, what comes along with that is death panels. Hate to say it, but
that's exactly what it is.
And Obama took a big step towards that. And I don't believe it's going to happen. I know America's not ready for socialism.
No.
But what gets me is these freaking leftists, far left progressives, calling everyone on the right Nazis. Do they not know that the Nazi Party wasn't called the Nazi Party? It was the National Socialist Party.
National Socialist Party, exactly right. Just like the USSR.
Socialist, communist, they are promoting what Hitler wanted.
Exactly.
I don't get it.
And it's scary, the things that are going on in this country. I mean, that have been for the last 20 years, that everything's leaning towards that. Well, it looks like that America is finally starting to wake up.
I think good can, even if this is a terrible, even if this has a terrible outcome, I believe good can come from it.
And I mean, I don't know how to sugarcoat this, but like you guys were talking earlier,
I don't want nothing sugarcoated. I'd rather hear it for what it is. That way, there's no surprises.
I've mentioned some things around my family, friends, whatever, and they look at me like I'm totally insane. Well, it's only sorry you think that way. One of them, for instance, is when I mentioned about this COVID virus being man-made. Oh, my God, I was under the gun for that one for a while. I said, well, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, you're finally going to find out that it is because it doesn't act like any other virus.
I have a feeling, and I'm not saying what I say is going to happen. I'm not a biochemist, but neither are these people on Facebook saying don't do nothing. Keep going to the movie theater. Keep going to the bar. Keep going to these places. They're not biochemists. They're idiots listening to other idiots. Here's my thing. I believe the shoe's going to drop. And people are going to find out that these people that they call tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists were right all along.
All along.
And I think it's going to come out of just about everything that us conspiracy theorist people believe. I believe it's going to come out. And, boy, will they be? I hope they're still alive to be eating crow. I really do.
Exactly, and some of my friends and family members, they know what I'm into and who I listen to and what I do, and that's why they look at me like I'm a conspiracy theorist and I'm nuts.
Well, here's the thing. I listen to Alex Jones. I know you listen to Alex Jones. I listen. That doesn't mean I don't question everything Alex Jones says. I just don't. I don't look at Alex Jones and say, "Wow, he's right every time." But I'm going to tell you what. What makes this man look unbelievable is the way he acts.
The way he acts and the way he predicts things too. He predicted this was going to happen. He didn't say it was. He said something tragic is going to happen before the elections. Bingo.
But my thing is with Alex Jones is I look at it and I can't deny that he's been right a hell of a lot long than he's been wrong. A hell of a lot more than what he's been wrong.
And the thing is, when he's wrong, he admits it. When he's wrong, he admits it.
That's a scary thing. I don't care if the man's an alcoholic. That's his own problem. What I care about is I feel like, and here's the thing. I see paper. I see in black and white backing up what he's saying. I mean, like the gay frogs. Everybody made fun of him. Come to find out it's true.
Well, sure, it's true. That's another topic I touched on. Talking about, and they all think I'm crazy. Gay frogs, yeah. What do you think you're going to say that?
We're not saying he's not saying that frogs were interested in the males instead of the females. They had no interest in sex at all. That they're not reproducing. That's what he meant by gay frogs. But people always take what people like me, Alex Jones, Steve, Joe, Ed, they take it out of context, turn it around and say, oh, frogs are having homosexual sex. No, that's not what we're saying.
No.
But listen, the majority of the public believes it and listens to it.
He actually had video, and everything. Most people think that the things he talks about is all his idea. Wrong. All he is just like any other news network.
You know what? Here's my thing. Go watch Joe Rogan's podcast with Alex Jones. Joe Rogan is a liberal.
Right.
I think he's a nice guy from what I see. I don't know the man personally, but I think he's a nice guy. I think he don't want to offend nobody. He's afraid to hurt people's feelings. But even Joe Rogan had to say, you know what? I doubted everything this guy said because they're friends, Joe Rogan and Alex Jones.
Yes, they are, yeah.
And the thing is he said, man, I doubted everything this guy did, but holy shit, the stuff that he came up with. I mean, he's naming stuff off on these interviews, and Jamie, the guy who works for Joe Rogan, is searching them, and son of a bitch if it ain't true.
Yeah, like the gay frogs. They had video. They had, I don't remember where this was.
Well, I know the video you're talking about where the two guys got together, but then they drew the blinds. You couldn't actually see what they were doing. That was a joke.
No, they actually had videos of these frogs that were confused of what sex they were.
Exactly. Gender dysphoria. But, you know, and that's another topic I can't. I mean, come on, people. There's two genders, male and female. If you're a male that thinks you're a female, you have a mental disease. You have a problem. I'm not making fun of you. It's just like having diabetes. You can't help what happens to you. But the answer to the problem isn't, it's like telling a schizophrenic, the radio's talking to, the schizophrenic saying the radio is talking to me, and you saying, yeah, the radio is talking to you. That ain't helping a schizophrenic. Just like saying, hey, I'm a female, and telling them, yeah, you are. Sorry. If you want to change your name from Chris to Chrissy, I have no problem calling you Chrissy. But if you got the dangling goods, I ain't going to call you a female, because every chromosome in your body, except some sperm cells,
That's right.
that you're male.
Yep, yeah, that's what you were born with. Guess what? You're going out that way too.
Yeah, no matter how much surgery they do, they will never change the sex that
I don't
you
care.
are.
I don't even care if you change your plumbing.
Well, and here's the thing that people don't know, and I don't want to be too graphic, but when they chop off your berries and nuggets, and when they get these artificial vaginas made, do you know they have to keep a plug in there? Otherwise,
Yes.
it heals shut.
Yep.
So, I mean,
The
and you know
human
what?
body is
It don't change the suicide rate at all, neither. Even when they get the sex change operation, it doesn't change the suicide rate at all. It's not helping. What they need is help.
It makes it worse, because later on in life, they think something that they done when they were young, oh my God, what'd I do? Now they feel worthless, and next thing you know, wham.
I mean, I'm not claiming to be an expert. That's my opinion.
That's my opinion too. But all you got to do is sit and watch the facts.
And don't bring up facts and try to confuse people.
Yeah.
People don't want to hear facts.
No, they don't.
And that's why I said I don't believe people want to hear the truth. And what I'm asking people out there to do, like you, Steve, and other people that listen, share our channel. Share it. Let people, we're doing the best we can. We don't have to be doing this. I didn't have to spend thousands of dollars on this equipment I know it don't seem like I spent thousands of dollars, but we did, to broadcast to everyone. We didn't have to spend that money. We did our part. We're doing our part by trying to perfect this. We're a work in progress. Share this with people. Have them tune in. Have them watch. Call mom. Call dad. Tell them, hey, tune into this. He might not agree with it, but you know what? You can call him and you can tell him what you disagree with. I'll listen, because unlike the left, Steve, I want to hear what they have to say. I want to know why you think this way. Now, the the left just wants to yell over top of you and scream and yell. They don't want to hear the fact. They don't want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
They don't want to know why you think a certain way. And also, if you're out there and you're listening and you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Hit that notification bell and hit all. That'll let you know when we go live. We're going to be live all this week. Time.
I think I got that on my phone, I believe. I'm not so good with that.
Yeah,
I haven't.
Go ahead.
I haven't found the thumbs up button. Well, I woke up, I seen that you were online, and I thought, oh boy, so I jumped up and turned it on, and it's probably right there when I first get into your site, the thumbs up.
Well, it's when you connect, it's on there. But you have a son that understands that. Go ahead and ask him. Ask somebody at work. You can thumbs up it at any time. Just, even after post-broadcast, you can give it the thumbs up and give it a like. But Steve,
I'll do.
Yeah, I know you will. Steve, we appreciate your call, man, and we'll continue calling you. You're a great guest. You're fun to talk to. You're full of knowledge, and we appreciate you. If you don't mind us giving you a call or you giving us a call, when we're on. We'll
I
keep
love
on.
it.
All right, brother. Well, you be safe and you take care of yourself.
And you guys were talking about poisons earlier. Well, that's what the gay frog thing is about, the glyphosates, the runoff of the, pesticides
Roundup.
and stuff like that.
Roundup.
And most people don't even bother themselves by looking at the back of a toothpaste tube.
Oh, no, let's eat that fluoride. People don't realize that fluoride is what the Nazis gave their population to make them docile.
That's right. You guys hear
because
yeah.
our government don't want men like us. They don't want people that will stand up and have a voice and have balls and tell them, no, fuck you. And tell them, no, we ain't going for that. They don't want that. And until men wake up, I mean, I have never seen a bunch of panty-waist generation like there is right now. I know. I have not seen, it's like a sin to be a man. And
exactly.
I'm here to tell you, a woman wants a man. A woman don't want some boy that's going to roll back on his back and give up to everything she has to say. Whether it's politically correct or the woman's right thing to say, I'm going to say it. A woman wants a man, and you show me a panty waist that has a woman, I'm going to show you a man that can steal that woman from him.
Yeah, and I mean, early on in school, they're feeding our kids, all the many different drugs that they do.
I think I said that wrong. I think I just said you could steal him from a woman. I meant I'll show you a man that can steal his woman from him.
Right, right.
I don't want that getting out there. Wow.
Wow.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. But Steve, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you taking time out. I know you got things to do and places to go, but you be safe out there. And anybody gets too close, give them that right hook you're good for.
That I'll do.
All right, brother. You have a great night, and we'll probably give you a call tomorrow night.
All right, buddy.
All right. You take care. God bless.
Take care. God bless you.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for tonight. Like I said, it's up to you guys. If we're going to get this out there, we've done what we can. We're doing what we can. We're struggling. We know technically, but we're working on it. We're working on it every day. Justin is busy as hell every day working on this. I need his help in the shop, and sometimes I can't pull him away from this because that's how much we care about getting this news out to you, getting these issues out. You're just letting you know the truth or another way of thinking. Like I said, we need to question everything. We need to search for the truth. And you know what? Sometimes we need to laugh just to keep our sanity. But guys, we thank you for tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that thumbs up, and like I said, hit that notification bell. But you got to hit that all. Subscriptions don't mean that much anymore when you subscribe, so hit that notification bell. That way you can be notified whenever we're on the air. Again, we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, God bless you, and question everything and search for the truth. We'll see you next time.